So why is sex such an issue? Either you're not getting enough of it, you're not fulfilled, you want more of it, or there's this huge deviance that we see either super prudish or over the top in the media. It's imbalanced. In this video, we're going to go over how that looks, why it is, and how we can unravel it to have beautiful, fulfilling partnerships and sex life. I'm Salenta Fox, your soul connection facilitator. Okay, sex, this huge taboo, this thing all of us want inside. And so sometimes we wonder why we're a little fucked up, a little underfucked. Why is this happening? Part of it is there's so much mixed messages about this. Firstly, within our bodies, we have this force, this driving force within us of this thing that wants to be expressed. Some people are very driven by the sexual energy and some people not so much. But some people who are not driven by it don't even know if they are or not because it is suppressed within them. The messages that we receive as youth, as children, even now in the media of sex is bad. It's bad to have sex out of wedlock. It's bad to even like sex. If you're a woman, you don't like sex. Sex is something men want and women don't. All these things get piled on and they get recorded in our psyche. They're tucked away in our subconscious. They are not meshing with the feelings we have inside, and so we're experiencing this cognitive dissonance. Some people will go to one or another of the extreme, but it's not just religions, it's also society. So depending on how tightly you want to be woven into the norms of society and the acceptableness of society, you're going to repress that natural instinct within yourself to be normal, to be liked, to be within that range. What happens with that is when you're then in a partnership, there's all this stuff on top of this natural urge, and you're wondering why there's deviance, there's weirdness. One of the huge things that comes from these messaging is the guilt and the shame. The guilt and the shame is going to stop you from fully expressing who you are freely. This is a deep-rooted belief that I would say most of humanity has. And then when you have this, you will act out or you'll create situations to validate that belief about yourself. And you wonder why your relationships don't work out that well. Next is abuse. There is a ton of abuse. I think the last stat I saw, over 90% of men and women have experienced some sort of abuse sexually. This could be as a child, as an adolescent, or in your later years. And it can be expressed in all sorts of ways. We don't know what's going to impact us. It could be something very slight, but that leaves its mark. It could be a word. It could be something that wasn't even physical. So then now we're with our partner, it's supposed to be safe, and you have these things coming up in the background blocking you from fully being who you are all the way. All of this stuff, we have this huge repertoire, or you're in a relationship and you feel unfulfilled and you get rejected, and enough of those rejections, enough of that feeling of not being fulfilled, and you start to shut down, you start to make decisions about yourself or about sex that's something you don't want to engage in, or that you're going to find somewhere else, or that it's not safe over here, so I'm going to do this, and all sorts of things happen. So how can we move through this and engage in a healthy relationship with sex with ourselves, a healthy relationship with our partner, and actually use that energy to fuel the rest of our lives? Let's get into that. Number one is acknowledging where you are, acknowledging what has happened. Yes, shit happens. Yes, those things might not be very pretty. It doesn't matter what happens. So don't judge the thing that happened and say, well, it's so little, it doesn't have an impact. I want you to allow yourself to acknowledge everything, to go back into those memories, which I know can take some courage sometimes, especially if it was something that was very traumatic for you. Allowing yourself to feel it, allowing yourself to go into the energy, allowing yourself to bring it to the surface, to shine light on it, to bring some life into it so that it can dissipate. But hearing that child within yourself and just saying, yes, I understand, it's okay. That's all the child ever wants to hear. I hear you. I see you. You're loved. You're wanted. You're cared for. And doing that with those things, those messages within yourself, is going to start to dissipate them and heal them. And forgiveness allows us to do that, to release and to almost love the things that happen to us. And I'm not saying to love the perpetrator, which could be yourself at times, It can be as little as a message, a thought, something you read in a magazine, but to forgive it. And forgiveness can be as easy as bringing that thing inside of you to the foreground and just saying, I forgive myself. I forgive myself for liking it, for not liking it, for reacting this way, for not saying something. And we just say, I forgive myself as these things come. And you forgive the other person and you forgive the situation. And this can take some time. Forgiveness is not a one-shot deal. But if you sit with it and you forgive until the charge disappears. Once the charge is dissipating, you know that it is becoming resolved. Forgiveness is very powerful. This is not something for church people. This is something for soul evolution, for soul reconnection, for reconnecting to yourself. And it's allowing yourself to let it go, to release. Yes, it happened. Thank you for it. The Ho'oponopono prayer is very important. I'll put it down below. Allow yourself to let it go. Part of forgiveness is forgetting. It's rewriting the story. So create the memory that you desire. It's not lying. It's rewriting. It's reframing. It's seeing it in a different light that can empower you instead of disempower you. This is very, very powerful practice to do. Acceptance. I am this thing. When you accept something and stop defending, stop denying, you then take the power back from it. Someone calls me a bitch. Yes, I am. What are they going to say? They can't say anything more. Yes, I am. I have that within me. Don't underestimate me. I can have any and all things. I am everything and I am nothing. And not being attached to any of the things that have happened to us, not identifying with it. It doesn't make me who I am. Just because I have this aspect, just because this one thing happened, because I believe that thing, doesn't make me who I am. Returning to the acknowledgement of who I really am, which is pure. I am pure. Doesn't matter what happened or didn't happen, I am pure. I am divine. I am this magnificent divine soul. And recognizing that, coming back to me, coming back to my divinity within me, acknowledging that, seeing that. When I do that, I return to the truth of who I really am and not what has happened and not these things that I've put on top of me or labels or that I have accepted from other people. When you can do that accompanied with the forgiveness and acknowledgement and then rewriting, what you're doing is you're taking back your power. And the last one is allowing. Allowing all of this to happen, opening yourself to experience something new. Opening yourself to experience a new expression of you, how you express yourself. Opening to having healthy partners, having relationships that can be open and that I can talk about things and that I can be free. Before you can accept this from someone else, you need to open to and accept it from yourself. Accept the love, accept the healing, and open to what's possible. Because what is possible is seeing sex as energy, and all energy is a sex. And when I can allow all this other stuff to go away, to fall away, that's piled on top of it, what then happens is I open to the energetic flow within myself to come forward and to express itself in all the ways that it does. Because sexual energy is creative energy. Sexual energy creates life. And I'm not just talking babies here, people. When you can see it, and actually religion teaches us this, it's for procreation, but what if it's just for creation? And to see it as creation and to use it and to open that energy to feel your projects, to feel your life, to feel your purpose, your enthusiasm, your relationships, to put that energy into where you want it to go and direct it. And that brings us to another video, balancing your sexual energy, because yes, a very open, exuberant sexual energy can still be unbalanced when you're spreading it everywhere. So how can you still be open, which people fear, so they don't want to do that because they don't want to be that person. So how can you still be open and fully expressed, but very directed and still within the guidelines of who you want to be and how you want to act in this world? So for that video, check out below. And if you like this topic and you want to know more about it, like and subscribe to be notified when another one pops. I'm Salenta Fox, your soul connection facilitator.